last thing that goes through a bug's head before it hits your windshield is?
I mean, like my windshield, probably.
Their ass.
Oh yeah, we were gonna try to do like jokes where we would try to
Yeah.
make each other laugh. I laugh
Yeah.
too easy though, I think.
I don't know. It depends on the delivery. If I was like, all
Yeah.
right, you got to get ready and not laugh, and then I tell you a joke, I feel like,
Yeah, then I'd have to be like stone face, like
yeah, that's what I mean. I wanted to do it like they do on the like TikTok. What is that?
TikTok.
TikTok videos. TikTok videos where they do like they spit the water out, but I can't really do that. So
We did the thing where like you hit each other in the face with like a fajita.
yeah, the burrito.
The burrito. Yeah, well, I don't know why I said fajita, but yeah, you hit yourself.
You heat everything up and put a bunch of hot stuff in it, and then hit each other in the face. It's almost as bad as horse.
Horse. I want to. I think actually that's actually a pretty cool concept for a game. I think that's kind of fun.
Well, if this Airbnb thing ever happens, we have so much content we can film. We can play horse. It'll
Yeah.
probably be the worst. Well, for me, the worst looking thing ever when it comes to athletics. But
it'll be great though, because you just gotta like get your own rebound if you miss, and then we gotta establish the rules.
yeah, I
Like,
think it's good. I
we'll
think
kind of
we just
make it
gotta
up
go
as
back
we
and
go.
listen to it. But
Yeah, we'll make it up
we had
as we
some
go.
rules. And cut out of Kevin Bacon. Get me on the sidelines.
Yes. Yes.
All right, so we really starting this now?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Start it.
Welcome to episode 18. The one without Kurt.
That's right. Kurt's not here. We do have some special guests though. Oh, my hand's not on. Yeah, right here. Hey, we might have a special guest. Depends on how much time I have to edit this, I guess.
We'll have a special guest.
Yeah. For the audio listeners, the special guest won't say anything, so you're not missing out.
No, he won't say anything. If you know Kurt, though, he's actually in Texas on a trip with his wife.
And you know what's great about that? Is he totally could still be here. Because it's like 8 o'clock there, 8:30.
Yeah, I should send him a message and be like, hey, do you want to record this on your phone?
That would be not good quality, but it would be funny. Maybe he wants to pop in and say hello. But
maybe. I don't think so.
We'll just let him enjoy his vacation. Anyway, I'm Owen Brody. I almost read my Twitter thing or X thing because it's on the screen.
How many people you think call it? Oh, and I'm Murdoch. You can find me at Adam Murdoch. Sorry. Yeah.
Also known as Godzilla.
Yeah, I wish. I tried to see if I could take that on X, but it's taken. So
do you think the actual Godzilla has an X?
I think so. I mean, he probably doesn't. Yeah, when are they going to change that? Like the etiquette of it is so bad. They changed over from Twitter to X.
Yeah.
But he hasn't come out and said, is it still called tweeting? Like that was a huge thing that happened. And they have retweeting. So is it Xing?
It's posting or reposting.
Oh, they already said that?
But I do notice like when people like you and I are big into wrestling, I do notice that like when you go to like the wrestling websites and they're like, oh, this was said on, Twitter, like the embedded like address is still twitter.com, which I think is kind of funny.
But where did you see that it said posting and reposting?
I don't know. I think it's when you...
Oh, yeah, right there. When you hit it, it says post.
Yeah.
Okay, and then if I repost... Well, that's really dumb. That was the whole point of it. Like, this is just... I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like it. It makes me upset. I never was a huge fan of Twitter, the name itself, but, like, I feel like it kind of set the precedent for social media because it was the bird.
Yeah, and like so tweeting was like the thing. Yeah. Okay, so if you could rename it, what would you rename it?
I don't know if I would, because I know he was trying to get away from all the things associated with Twitter for the negative. Maybe musking, so it'd be just be called Musk.
Yo, you catch my musk earlier?
Oh my remusk. I remusked you.
Like
that's great.
Yeah, but like
it's hard to say.
It is.
I don't know what you would say. Like I know they try to do the thing I never joined. Was it called Scripts?
Threads?
I just created a new one.
Threads is Instagram.
Yeah, so it's basically Meta. even though I find that funny. So Facebook, Meta,
Yeah.
owns Facebook,
Yeah.
obviously, because they had to change it, and they own Instagram now,
Yeah.
and they own Threads, but Threads is basically like Facebook, but
Threads is like
they're all,
Twitter.
but really, I mean, that's why Twitter came out, was because Facebook existed. Same
Yeah.
with like MySpace, and same with Instagram, and then Meta just bought all these companies. So it's like they didn't pull a Vince McMahon. What they should have done is they just should have made them all into Facebook. But
I mean,
didn't.
they all pretty much talk together, which is nice.
That is nice, because I remember back in the day you had to download a program to be able to control all your social media.
Yeah.
Now I don't think they have that anymore.
I don't know. There used to be one called Hootsuite or whatever.
Yeah, that's what everybody used for like celebrities and
Yeah,
stuff.
I think like it's still around, but it's a subscription based, just like everything else in this world. Friggin' monthly fee.
Elon Musk is going to start charging like $3 a month for Twitter or for X.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. I mean, so if it does happen, I'm not going to partake.
No, I'm not either. I also have noticed there's not as much stuff for me to look at on X, because they limited like what you can look at. Because that's, to be honest, like I probably looked at Twitter the most out of all the social media, but I posted probably the most on Instagram. I think the concept of Instagram makes the most sense. You just post a picture or like a video.
Yeah.
But you don't really need to like, I don't know. I was trying to pull the whole John Cena thing for a while, and I was just going to post I used to go into my photos and just scroll randomly and then just pick a photo randomly and just post it.
That can be dangerous.
Without any well, I don't have those kind of photos in my photo album.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it could be dangerous, because it could be posting something that I don't want to. But I thought that was the most, I know, like Austin Powers.
What would you call that? Like Instagram roulette?
Yeah, probably. That's probably the best name for it.
Yeah. So
Post or die.
Post or die? That sounds like a horror movie. Like you have to post like an Instagram story every day or you die.
I thought of actually the other day when I saw this thing, it popped up and it was called board games as horror movies, which I thought was kind of cool. So they had one that called Guess Who, and instead of the Guess Who people like popping up on the screen, it had them like hanging, like kind of like the Monsters Inc. like doors.
That's
and they were
awesome.
hanging in there, and if you didn't guess it right, they just fell into like a saw, like saw blade, saw mill thing. And died.
Man, there's a new Saw movie out. Have you seen that yet?
Nope. A couple of people I know though saw it. I guess the two things I'll say is the first person said, I loved it. It was great. But they're huge fans of Saw. And then the other one said, and this is the person I probably talked to the most about horror movies. But she was like one of my friend's significant others who's into horror movies as well. And she said, it was good for a Saw movie.
Ooh,
So.
you know, I feel like it gets that though, because like you get when you have 10 of those movies, right? Like you get into that, it's good for a Saw movie, or like, it was, it was decent for a Fast and the Furious movie, that kind of thing. And
they tried to reboot it with him in that Spiral movie
with Chris Rock.
I thought that was terrible.
I haven't even watched it, to be honest.
It's pretty bad.
Because I heard it was
I mean, some people might like it, but it's just like, if you're gonna start over, I don't know. For me, the whole start over thing, I don't know how long it really has to be, but I feel like it has to be quite a while before you can start over. You can't end a whole entire series and then be like, all right, we're going to reboot it in 2 years. Because people just watch the last 10 movies. So it's not the same thing.
Yeah, like what audience are you capturing at that point? Like the people that were like 16 and couldn't get into the theater, and now they're 18, like this podcast, 18 episodes old as of today.
Yeah. It can buy cigarettes.
It can.
Oh, wait, no, it can't. They changed that, didn't they? I don't know. I don't smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, I don't either.
It's 21 in Maine.
Oh, wow. So. That's interesting.
You can buy, are porno mags a thing still?
I feel like the internet killed that. I mean, I don't go looking for them either, though, so I don't know.
Remember they
Scratch tickets.
We're going everywhere, but magazine. Oh yeah, scratch tickets. Magazine section at the grocery store. I don't see that anymore.
No, where was I? I did see one, and I almost. Oh, actually, never mind. That was a bookstore that had a magazine section. It's kind of legit. I was like, I saw one recently.
Like I saw some books somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
bookstore. No, but that used to be like that was my thing. I don't know if I already talked about this on a prior episode, but since the 18th one, I used to go to the grocery store with my dad, and my parents are divorced, so I saw my dad like 2 days a week, and he'd always bring me to the grocery store with him. But the first day that I was with him, and when we went, I hated grocery shopping, so I usually would go hang out at the magazine section, which is probably think about what I did. I pretty much stole because I just sat down like in style in front of all the magazines and I grabbed like PWI, Pro Wrestling
Yeah.
Illustrated, and I grabbed all the wrestling magazines that I didn't subscribe to because I had WWF magazine and I read all of them while I was sitting there. And I
I did the
remember,
same thing.
oh, really?
Yeah.
See, so I feel like it would be frowned upon now though, because I'd basically be reading the magazines without buying them. Kind of
Well,
like when people get mad at comic books because you could
yeah.
read the comic book and then just put it away and you basically stole.
Well, I feel like after, and maybe not all magazines, but I feel like after a while they started coming in those plastic sleeves so that you
Oh,
couldn't like
yes, and you
open it up
couldn't.
and read them. But I feel like that was also attributed to like, remember I think it was Electronic Gaming Monthly would do like a demo disc like
Man,
every few months or so, and you would get like to be able to play like a couple games before they like come out.
you just brought me back for the gaming magazines because I always used to try to look for like any wrestling games or like a screenshot of it in there. Now you can just go on anything online and look at that stuff. But
Dude, I
yeah, I
remember,
forgot about that one that you just said. I used to buy that one all the time because it usually had like Mortal Kombat and stuff inside of it like that.
yeah. I remember when WWF Warzone was coming out and I was so excited for it. Like I begged my parents for it and I was like, I want to get it like day one. And I don't remember what it might have been Nintendo Power even. But there was a gaming magazine that came out that had all the moves, and in that game it was like Mortal Kombat moves. Like you had like 11 different buttons you had to press to do a Stone Cold Stunner. And I remember sitting like on my front porch with my with an N64 controller in my hand and the magazine, and I'm just practicing pressing the buttons, even though I had no idea like the game at all because we'd never played it. It wasn't out yet, but I was still practicing the finishers so that I was ready. And when the game came out, I was not ready. That was an
It
awful
well,
game.
because it was really yeah, it was terrible. I
Yeah.
remember my cousin Nick, I used to go to his house all the time. He's younger than me, but we would play that. And if I stayed over his house at like my uncle's house, we would play N64 on like his porch because he had like a one of those enclosed porches, and
Yeah.
we left it on pause so we could do all the games like the next morning to see. I think we were going. I think they had a thing like Mortal Kombat where you had to go through like the tower of people and
Yeah.
beat all of them. Yeah. So we did that, and we would take turns because the same thing is what you were saying. He was better at doing like the button combination stuff. I was always bad because I'd be having to like watch my hands while I was like doing like my fingers to make sure it was the right thing, and
Right.
then I would get it wrong. I was never good at that stuff.
I wasn't either. I always had to pause and go like to the menu and then like,
I still do that.
yeah, still do.
And some of like the combos on the new wrestling games or fighting games, I'll be like, "Oh, what was this one?" And then I'll press pause and look at it again. I'm like, "All right, got it." And then I'll
Got it.
unpause it and I'll go, "Wait a second, what was it again?" Go back in and do it again.
I'll still do it wrong.
Yeah, pretty much. Or like, my favorite thing in Mortal Kombat is when you're like, "I got it," and then you do the whole thing and it would just punch, and
Yeah.
then you hit them and they'd fall over, and you'd be like, "Damn it, I have to get back to the end of
So
it again."
back in the day of Mortal Kombat, there was like a fatality for specific levels, right? And there was one where you could like uppercut the person and they would go up in the air and they'd fall down into the
And the
spikes.
spikes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I always tried to like do that. And I would always just fucking give them a basic ass uppercut and they'd just take a flat back bump. And I'd be like, oh, damn it.
Every time, I know this is more for the watchers, but
Yeah.
every time, because you have, I think, your guitar behind you, it looks like someone's hand is creeping up behind the curtain.
Oh, wait.
So I want to be like, "Oh my god!" No, right in that corner.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
right where your guitar is. It looks like it's gonna grab like the
Yeah,
curtain and pull it
yeah.
forward. I want to be like, "Watch out, man! Someone behind you!" And then I'm like, "Oh, it's his guitar."
That's funny. Yeah, the guitar I can't play. I only know like a little bit of things.
Yeah, speaking of that, what is one of the songs that you know a little bit of?
Wonderwall. Like every guitarist should know Wonderwall.
So it's funny because this is not going to work now because I thought it was a different song. But when I went to the Goo Goo Dolls concert with Ashley
Mhm.
this past weekend, which is awesome because that was basically what we've been trying to do the last 2 years. She has a bucket list of music. She's into music a ton. So I was like, make your bucket list and we'll try to go to all the concerts. So we've been to Elton John, Fall Out Boy, Aerosmith, uh, Stevie Nicks, which is like her all-time favorite. And then I was trying to find out who the last band was, and it was the Goo Goo Dolls. And I was like, well, they never really go on tour anymore. And they went on tour
There you go.
to Bangor, Maine. So we went this past week. But my point was, one of the things he said is I thought it was either Slide the song or Name. I think it was Name. But he said that's one of the songs that people learn on guitar first too, because it's only a couple chords.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of cool to hear him say that, because that's what we were talking about. But it's funny to hear somebody from a band say, I bet you all know this one, probably because you tried to play it on your guitar.
Yep.
Because it's easy to play. So, but they sound just like they do when you listen to music on anything. Like the guy sounds so good. And I think I posted it on Facebook a little bit, but I don't know, like if you've gone to a concert before, and I'm cool with saying this on here, I'm a man, I can say it. There's just a song that they played called Sympathy, which I've never heard before. And it made me like start to kind of tear up. Just because of like what he was talking about in the song. So kind of like, when you like relate to something, and I wasn't expecting to, I brought my wife to this, so I thought she'd enjoy like the concert and I would enjoy some of the songs too. Cause I mean, pretty much Goo Goo Dolls, you could play like 7 songs and everyone would be like, oh, I know that one.
Yeah.
I know that one. They have like so many hits. It's crazy. But then I was just sitting there and I was listening to the lyrics. I've never heard the song. And then I was like, why do I feel like this?
Music does that to you, man.
Yeah.
It's a magical thing.
It's the best. I was telling Ashley that one of the best things I like to do is just like sit in the living room and just like put on Apple Music on like my Apple TV and just listen to music.
Dude, like even today, like
you always use headphones.
I just had headphones on. I was just listening to stuff as I was like cleaning the house and like doing things. And even like I was watching like football and I was just like chilling, listening to music while I'm watching football. Like it looks silly, but like, I was just listening. I was enjoying the music.
Sometimes the commentators are annoying. You still watch the game without that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I had transparency mode on, so I could still hear like what was going on. But did you watch the football game today? The Toy Story football game.
What?
You haven't seen this?
I don't watch football.
I saw someone post it and I thought they were ribbing me. So I went to Disney Plus and they had
it's on there?
Yeah, they were playing live the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Atlanta Falcons, but it was in Andy's bedroom.
Oh my God, that's wait, what?
So like the players were moving and on the screen it was like an anime, it looked like a video game. And then they'd have like, like Jesse and Woody on the sidelines at one point. Was it
playing like the same way though that was on the TV
yeah, it was the live game.
How the hell did they do that?
It had to have been because you could tell like the animation was quite a bit janky, like with the way everybody was. So it had to be like some sort of they were taking the video feed and some software was making it work. Because sometimes the ball would like be in the wrong spot and like whatever. But they threw all this cool ass.
Kind of like deep fake.
Yeah. But they threw all this cool like Toy Story stuff. So like when the football like got brought to the field, instead of like the ref like bringing it over, it was like the claw dropping the ball into the middle of the field.
Man, I need to watch this now because I just saw it on.
Dude, you do.
Just Googled it. I put in toy and it was the first thing that popped up.
Dude, it was big today. Like my kids were watching it and they were like, "This is cool." But like the first down like chains was Slinky Dog. So they just kept moving Slinky Dog. It was hilarious.
Amazing.
And Duke Kaboom.
Toy Story Toy Story football games, and then people would probably watch that more than like the XFL.
Dude, I wrote on X this morning. I said, "Can we watch football like this every Sunday?" It was called Sunday Fun Day. It was the best.
I think they have something if it was this popular.
Yeah, like, and when they kicked like a field goal, like there was bricks that like the letter bricks that made up the field goal like posts, and when the ball went through it, like all the bricks like fell down. But the commentators were like, because it was a different set of commentators for the game, they were reacting to like everything that was going on, and like the Pizza Planet truck like brought them pizza, like it was wicked cool. So if you can get some good clips of that, like, you know, maybe not watch the whole game, but definitely
I'm watching
check
the
it
whole
out.
thing.
You should. It was a lot of fun.
I love Toy Story.
Did I tell you the story when you were talking about music? It made me think of this. We're going to backtrack a little bit, which is fine. Did I tell you the story about when I saw the Starting Line in concert and I'd never heard any of their songs? I feel like I had maybe told this story.
Did, but I also don't remember. Is
So
this the one you and your wife went to, and it's like a
no,
country band?
no. That one was we saw Miranda Lambert, and I thought that it was
Oh
just going to be
yeah, I don't know who
like.
the Starting Line is.
So the Starting Line's a pop punk band, and I was there to see Taking Back Sunday, who was playing with them. They were like the Starting Line was the second headliner, and so they're playing their songs, and I'm like, wow, I'm like, this band's pretty good. And then the guy gets on the microphone and he goes, hey, he goes, you know, we expect everybody to sing along to this one. You know, we it played on the radio every 5 seconds, and you guys all know, I know all of you got sick of it. And then you'd switch the station, and guess what? The station you switched to was playing it too. Sorry about that, but you know we're gonna play this song and enjoy, sing along with us. And then they played "I'm Real" by J-Lo and Ja Rule.
I love
And
that song.
the lead singer of Take It Back Sunday came out and like rapped the Ja Rule part. It was so fucking cool. They did like a punk cover of it, which was awesome. But I just thought it was funny the way they framed it up.
I don't see it on the list of music. Oh yeah, right there. It was on Pump Goes. Wow, Pump. I always say that. Pump Goes Pop. Punk Goes Pop. 2001. I'm Real.
Yes. I feel like actually, you know what? I feel like I did tell that story on the podcast because I think we talked about Pop Goes Punk and I told that story.
We talked about concerts. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is the rehash episode. You know, reliving our 18 episodes previously.
Well, you know what they say.
Yeah. That's what they say.
Probably did.
There was something else you were saying too that made me think of something else, and I forgot it. It just went away completely. It'll come back like in a few episodes. You know what would be funny if we recorded like 3 episodes tonight and didn't tell Kurt that we recorded 3 episodes, and then when we record with Kurt next week, his episode doesn't come out for 3 weeks. We're 3 weeks ahead.
Or it's just our video. And he's trying to be like, guys, you're not listening to what I'm saying. We're like, oh, dude, you know that?
That would be
crazy.
so funny.
I don't know how we'd be able to do that, but
yeah, I don't think we'd be able to pull it off. But it's October.
It is.
It is. It's technically Wednesday, which would be October 4th, I think.
October 4th.
But today's October 1st, which is like the beginning of Halloween and spookiness. Yeah. So I know.
I came home and the person across the street already has a ton of decorations.
Wow.
Like a ton.
That's awesome.
Like they do so many.
Yeah.
All lights. And like I was waiting to see the ones I saw last year and they're all new.
Wow.
I don't know. I just here's what I put out for decorations. What up that I think you saw it last year. There's a giant Mickey Mouse pumpkin that I got.
Yeah.
Pumpkin. It's huge. It's like the size of my house.
That's awesome.
Just kind of crazy. And then I bought something else because you know, you always ask, did you buy something crazy?
Yeah.
I bought this because it was at Lowe's and it was like $130. And I was like, that's too much money. I can't spend that much money. But I wanted to get another Disney because everybody on the street here, pretty much all the kids and everything, loved the inflatable pumpkin because it looks like a big giant Mickey Mouse face, but a pumpkin.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get something similar to that to keep adding on to it. But like, since it's Disney themed, I had to get another Disney themed thing. So I wanted to get that, but it was $130. And then there was, of course, an Amazon sale.
Oh,
thing. So for $50.
Wow.
I got a Mickey Mouse and a Pluto inflatable together where he's dressed like a vampire.
That's awesome.
It's going to go next to it, which will be kind of cool.
See, like my house is in such a weird spot that like there's really no cool thing to do. Like the year of COVID.
Yeah, you made that wicked cool like tube
Yeah, I
thing for
made a
the
candy
candy.
chute. So I took like
Yeah,
spider
that
webbing
was
and I
great.
put it like all across the stairs so that people wouldn't like walk up to the house. And then I made a orange tube that I just would send candy down to kids, and it was awesome. But I haven't done anything since then.
We used to do a ton of stuff where we used to live because we got about 400 to 500 trick or treaters.
See, that's awesome.
It was. So I think I've told you this or you've seen pictures, but
Yeah.
me and my wife would dress up as something different every year and think of some sort of theme. So we started with clowns. So she would wear like one of those clear masks with like the paint on it. And she stood, there were like townhouse apartments. So it wasn't a lot of room for us to do anything out front, but I would dress up as a clown and I'd stand in the corner and you'd have to come up to our door. And so she would basically get everyone to come up to the door and I'd be in the corner and they'd be like, "Oh, I don't want to come over. Like, I see that thing that's there." And she's like, "Oh, it's just a fake, like, animatronic." And I would even move my body like to the left and the right with like the jitters. So people would think that I was fake. And then once she gave them their candy, that's when I would chase them down the street. So
That's
the best one
awesome.
though ever when we did it there was we were Freddie and Jason. She was dressed as Freddie. I was dressed all as Jason. I had my hands covered and I also had a mask that I put on, then put his mask over it so I could pull the hockey mask off and you just see my deformed face, which was awesome. And I also got his mother's like deceased cut off head as like a replica, put it on the table with all the candles around it, which
That's
was awesome.
awesome.
But I didn't even get the best scare. It was my wife. She had the Freddy glove on, and this girl ran away from her while she chased her with the glove, and the kid threw all their candy at her in
That's
like the
incredible.
huge bucket. And then this is the best part. Like maybe 2 weeks later, she was at her sister's house, and her sister's like, "Yeah, someone was telling me the story at work about how like they got wicked scared where they went trick or treating." And she told the whole story, and it ended up being us scaring
That's
her sister's
incredible.
friend, and that's the one that threw the basket of candy at her. Now, unfortunately, where we live, I was all excited because it's in like a big apartment complex, but we're in a housing complex that's next to it. So I thought there'd be a ton of kids. The first year I dressed up, I had 3 people come.
Jeez.
So
But what year was
now
that though? Was that like
that was COVID, but then last year we did it. And I thought last year, maybe this is the year it's going to amp up with people, but I think we're near like a neighborhood like 3 streets down that everybody goes to every year with their kids. That's more like, I guess
Yeah.
my neighborhood's starting to turn into more kids, so maybe it'll pick up. But
know
last year what we did was we just set up a projector in our driveway, projected it onto the garage, and we watched Ghostbusters. And I had people stopping with their kids, and the parents were like, "You can go ahead. I'm gonna stay here for a little bit, watch some Ghostbusters."
So 2 things. So 1, you could make popcorn and give out little bags of popcorn with the movie this year. But you know what you really got to do if you really want to get noticed? You got to do full-size candy bars.
I did that one year that I had like 400 kids. We ran out of candy. It was nuts. And you know what's funny? 2 years later, because I did the full size candy bars there, the kid came up to the door and he's like, "Oh man!" I heard him as he left. He goes, "Oh man, we came here like a couple years ago. Whoever lived here gave us full size candy bars." And I was like, "Yeah, I can't afford it every year. It's
Right?
expensive." I think it cost me like $200 that year,
I can imagine.
but they loved it and they remembered it. So that for me, like, that's what it is for me, because I remember growing up and like going to houses and some of them suck. Some people didn't even like, I feel like nowadays they don't even like put candy out for some houses. They just are like, "I'm not participating in Halloween."
So
I
there's
feel
a
like when we were
lot.
growing up, it wasn't like that. Like, you couldn't do
Yeah.
that.
Like me taking the kids out, like there are a lot of houses that just don't have the lights on. And then there are a lot of houses that just have like a bowl outside. And it just like it's not as fun. Like
No,
my
because you want to
kids,
interact. You want to
yeah,
see. You want the person that opens the door to be like, "Oh my god, look at your costume! Like, that's so good." That's what the kid wants to
exactly.
hear. But
My kids love giving out candy every year. That's like we go to my grandparents' house and then we work our way around because my grandparents and my parents live a street away from each other. So we start at my grandparents' house. We work up that street and then over to my mom's. And by the time we're done with that, like the kids are like, okay, let's go home and pass out candy. Like they just think that's cool. This year is going to be a little different because like Maya is older and she's got like friends that like she goes and like rides bikes with. And so she wants to like go trick or treating with them. And so, we'll see what happens. But
I remember having to work my ass off for fucking candy.
oh, yeah.
You would get like a pillowcase. That's what
Yep.
we carried our candy in. I'd go with my friends and we'd work like 4 or 5 streets to try to fill that bag all the way up to the top. And you'd always get that house. You're like, oh man, we can't go there. They had candy apples last year. My dad said they'd be razor blades in them. Or like, oh man, that's the one that gives out the toothbrush and
That's
and
funny.
Listerine.
So other than obviously a toothbrush and Listerine, what's the worst Halloween candy?
I kind of want to say what you said I should pass out, which is popcorn. Because sometimes it can be like really like old.
I only said that like if you have like a popcorn, like you can get a popcorn machine, like one of those like stand up.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and like so it's fresh, but because you're playing the movie, like it kind of adds to it. But yeah, like if someone's giving out popcorn, that is
popcorn
bad.
ball. Is that one of those things?
Popcorn ball, yeah.
Or Whoppers. I fucking hate Whoppers.
I hate Whoppers. You know what the worst one is though? There used to be a house.
Milk Duds.
No, there was a house that gave out raisins.
Oh, there's always
regular
that house.
raisins. There's always a raisin house, and man, it's awful.
Or the ones where they're like, I made my own, and you're kind of like, yeah, probably gonna pass on that.
Oh, my parents were just like, oh, thanks, that was great. I'll hold this one.
Yeah, and then they would just throw it away.
Yeah.
I feel bad because like someone probably took a lot of time to do that, but mass amount of children who are coming to your house to get candy, I don't think I would give them homemade candy.
Yeah, I don't think anyone was doing it to be, what's the word? Like they weren't being malicious.
Malicious, yeah.
Yeah, they weren't being malicious. I think they were that was just what they were doing. Maybe they just wanted to, be the house that has the homemade treats. But
did you ever have a costume that you thought was gonna be amazing and it turned out to be like the one that you hated the most? I don't know. I'll have to tell a story and then you can tell me.
Okay, so one year there was I want to say it was 6th grade, maybe 5th grade. There was a Halloween dance and they had a costume contest. And I, for some reason, thought that my Brett the Hitman Hart costume, which was not homemade or anything. It was like store-bought with the plastic like face.
Oh, really? He had a plastic face one?
Yeah. I thought that was going to be like the coolest. And what they did is they did the judging. So they had all the kids in costumes like circle around, and you just walked around in a circle as they played music. And then like people would touch you on the shoulder, and that meant you were out. And I was like one of the first kids out. And I was like, oh man. And then I remember telling my mom that I was like disappointed or whatever. She's like, it's okay. We did the Halloween. People will love it. And all Halloween, because this was before wrestling like blew up. All Halloween, it was, oh, who are you? Oh, who are you? It's like,
oh, is it that one that has like the built-in glasses with the cutouts?
Are you sending it to me now?
I don't know. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, send it to me. It probably is. It was bad.
I don't think so. This one's really bad.
This one was bad.
I'm excited. Study this. I won a so the exact opposite of you. I won a Halloween contest for one of my
Oh yeah, this is most likely the mask.
That looks scary.
It was, yeah. I mean, look at all
for
those
listeners, by the way. If you know Brett the Hitman Hart, he wears like pink sunglasses to the ring, and with this mask, it has the sunglasses built into the mask, but then holes where the eyes are.
I'll post it where Kurt's supposed to be.
So mine was the Undertaker.
Ooh.
My dad would make the coolest costumes for me, and he'd always take me trick-or-treating, and I wanted to be the Undertaker. So he got like sweatpants for me, and then like I don't know what he bought, but he bought some kind of gray colored something and sewed it up to the knees and then attached these like buttons on the side so it looked like his like gray like
Yeah. Like old
coverall
school
things.
Undertaker.
Yeah, yeah. And then he gave me his he was a state trooper, so he gave me his gray gloves that he had. So I wore those. And then here's the reason why it was a bad costume for me. I'm gonna tell a secret. I hate like long hair or hair in my face. So like when I was a kid, if
That's a
anything
secret?
touched like my forehead. Well, yeah, because like Ashley will do that to me sometimes. I make a weird face and it just makes me feel gross if like
Oh,
hair is like on the front of my face or touching my but if you remember the Undertaker had long hair, so I had
yeah.
to wear a very long wig. And constantly it was in my face to the point where I like flipped out and told my dad I didn't want to wear it anymore. So then I just looked
Oh,
like a guy in a like a hat with
that's
short hair and Undertaker costume. So
man.
I used to have pictures of one. He did the best one he probably spent the most time on was Kane because I really wanted to be Kane. So he painted my face to look just like the mask. But dude, then he bought like a red like sweatshirt and cut the sleeve off one side. Yeah, dude. And then he drew on with a like a permanent Sharpie marker, like the area where like the black would be for like
Yeah,
the laced part on the side he had. He did it all by hand and like copied the whole thing. And
that's
I thought
awesome.
that was great. So those are the two like best costumes I had. And then everything else I was like I bought like the Rock, like his mask, and
Right.
it looks nothing like the Rock. It's like the latex one, and he's just doing the people's eyebrow the whole time, constantly.
So
Yeah.
my best wrestling costume, and probably my best costume, to be honest, um, was Sting when Sting was like the Crow Sting. Because believe it or not, I had hair just like Sting at that time. So
Wait,
like,
what?
yeah,
You
yeah,
had
yeah.
long
Oh, I
hair
had
like
long, I
Sting?
had long right down to the shoulders, pretty much. And
Wait,
we wet it
this.
down, and I remember we for some reason we went to a store. I feel like it was like because my brother's birthday is right around Halloween, but I feel like either way, I ended up in a store with the Sting costume on, and like everyone just thought it was so awesome, and I just would like walk down the street and I would just point the baseball bat at like random people, and they would be like, "Oh, it's Sting," and it was just the coolest fucking costume. Like
Did they
it
do
was
it like
awesome.
Tony Schiavone? They were like, it's Sting.
Pretty much, but
Remember that?
every pair, like every person who we went trick or treating, like they all knew like who I was, which was awesome. And it looked totally legit. It was great.
Have you ever seen Sting without makeup on?
I saw a meme of that earlier
Ah,
today.
yeah. He has a
So
lot of
it
hit
was
songs.
it was Sting the wrestler who wears face paint next to
Yeah.
Sting the lead singer of the Police, the musician, and it said this is what Sting looks like without face paint on, and I popped for that.
Yeah, it made me laugh a lot too. Imagine if that was like real though. Like it was like that's really what he did.
Yeah, that
I
would be
I don't
so
think it would
funny.
work because he'd have a different physique and be a lot shorter.
Yeah.
But pretty
So
funny.
so during Halloween, do you watch like a horror movie every night?
We were just having this conversation. So last year I picked all of them and we tried to watch one, me and my wife, every single night of October. Sometimes it's hard, obviously, with your job. But we watched a lot. Let me see. Let me see if I still have the list on here. Uh though that wait, that's a different list. That is projector movies to watch. Okay.
Ooh.
So I picked 18 movies last year. I'm
One
gonna
for
name them
every
off.
episode of the podcast.
Yeah, that's why I did it.
Yeah.
So I tried to pick 30, 31, but it's tough
It
to pick
is.
that many. So I had the original Scream,
Okay.
the original Omen,
Okay.
Rosemary's Baby,
Solid choice.
which I still haven't watched, by the way.
So
Didn't
you
even
didn't
watch it on
actually
this
watch
list.
it. Is
Not all of them.
Rosemary's Baby is a Stephen King book, yeah?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
I think so.
The original one, I think, is from like the 70s or something, though.
Yeah.
Original Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, the original, Halloween, Halloween 2, Beetlejuice,
Ooh.
The Lighthouse. I was trying to pick ones I haven't seen
I don't
before,
think
and I
I've seen
still
The
haven't seen that.
Lighthouse.
You know what that one is, though, right? It has like Christian Bale and Willem Dafoe.
I don't think I've ever seen it or heard of it, to be honest.
Yeah,
I
it's supposed
probably
to be
have,
really
and I'm
good.
just like drawing a blank. But
The original Exorcist, the original Carrie movie, which the remake's not too bad, but it's not as good.
no.
Oops, that might have been something about a future episode. Children of the Corn, the original one. That's the only one that exists. All the other ones are terrible.
Yeah.
The Shining, Cabin in the Woods, which is hilarious.
I
Have
love
you
that
ever
movie.
seen that?
Yeah, I
Oh,
love
okay.
that movie.
Good.
It's so good.
The Mermaid.
Yep.
Oops, spoiler.
Oops.
Interview with the Vampire,
Ooh.
the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I could watch any of them.
Yeah.
And then Old, which is a newer movie.
For some reason, I thought you were going with like Old, and then you were going to say something else. And I'm like,
Yeller.
McDonald? No, Old was great. That's the one where the people are all on the beach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought it
yeah.
was good.
I loved
liked
it.
So my wife's favorite director is M. Night Shyamalan. And she's always liked like The Village.
Mhm.
Signs is her favorite. Yeah. And then we always end the season with The Lost Boys by the end of October.
Very solid.
So this year we're doing it differently though. She's gonna pick all the movies. So
Oh, is she giving you any insight as to what it is?
no, and she is kind of upset because she doesn't like making choices like lists like that. So because she's always like, you're gonna hate it, and I was like, well, that's the point, right? I made this list, and there's ones you probably didn't like, so
true.
You make a list up.
So before we go back to horror movies, you said something, and I want to clarify. So in a future episode, which potentially the next episode, we're doing we're gonna do a draft where we draft sequels that are better than the original. Oh, but if it's a remake, that's not a sequel though, because you're retelling the same story, correct?
I think so.
Okay, so you would leave out, because like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre like remake is a superior movie now to the original movie.
So I have so many questions, but I don't want to give stuff away either.
Well, let's use Texas Chainsaw Massacre as a thing. So like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, the sequel to that movie is not the remake.
So that's what I was going to ask. So let's just say you have the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. It was in like this, I think 78, if I had to remember.
I think so, right around there.
Then they had the second one, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let's fast forward to like the one they just made on Netflix.
It's got to be.
You know what I mean?
So the way that I see it,
I'm just going to come out and say it. So the Batman movies. So you got the original one with Michael Keaton.
mm-hmm.
And then you got like Batman Returns with Val Kilmer. And then you have what? No,
Batman
Michael
Returns was
the second
Keaton.
one too.
Yeah.
So it was Keaton,
then Kilmer,
Val Kilmer,
and then George Clooney.
So like you couldn't pick like Batman Begins then, because that's
correct, because that's the beginning of a new line of story.
But
so
you could pick like The Dark Knight then, because that would be a sequel to Batman Begins. See, that's why it's tough. I don't understand.
We just gave out so many of them. But yeah, so it would be like okay, so let's just make up a movie. So if I made a movie about like dinosaurs, and then I made like Dinosaurs 2, Dinosaurs 3, Dinosaurs 4, it's all in that same like storyline. So like think like Fast and the Furious, right? Like that's all one storyline.
So when you say sequel, then that would mean that I could pick that Dinosaurs 2 if I thought it was better than the original.
You could pick anything in the line as long as it's in the story.
So you just answer my question. Then.
Yeah. But like if
I wasn't
it's
sure if we were stuck to just 2, you know.
I wouldn't think so. I mean, because it's a sequel, like, and a sequel doesn't necessarily mean 2, because 3 is the sequel to 2 and 4 is the sequel to 3, and right?
That's what I mean. That's I say sequels are sequels, so it doesn't
Yeah.
matter as long as they're in the chain of like a trilogy. So if you have the
Right.
trilogy, so like, so you could be talking about any of the movies in Fast and the Furious.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Realistically.
scary.
Realistically.
That's scary.
That
Listen to
is.
Kurt.
Send this to Kurt. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let them know that we're recording. I'm glad that we talked about that. I'm glad we ironed that out. I'm looking forward to doing that episode.
Me too.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And
I
we'll
also realized this just flew by in an hour of us talking about all these different things.
yeah, but I think we were talking a little bit more before we hit record than we normally do.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
I know we've been almost talking for a solid hour though.
Yeah. Yeah, we have.
I feel like we just started and we were just like going on a frenzy of conversation about Halloween and social media,
We've talked about a lot today.
movies. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I feel like he just started.
So to get back on the topic of Halloween movies, are you going to watch Rubber finally? Because I feel like that's kind of a horror movie. It's kind of.
I feel like I have to probably by myself, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. It's a tough one. I mean, if I watched that spoof of Fast and the Furious, I think I shouldn't have a problem watching Rubber because I shut that off though halfway through. It's pretty bad.
I think so. Rubber, I think you're going to be intrigued enough to not shut it off. Because it's very weird at first, and but it's interesting.
Is it like? Sorry, I'm trying to think of like what it's like. Would it be like? Is it Thanksgiving? So is it like
It's
kind of
in
like
that same.
you'll laugh at it because it's
Yes,
not
it's in that
scary.
same realm of like this is something that is supposed to be like a terrifying thing, and I don't even really think it's terrifying, so to speak, but like it's supposed to be like the people react as if it's real, but like then you're just like, what the fuck? But then there's also some parts in that movie where like they break the fourth wall a little bit, and I feel like that makes the movie even better.
I think those are good when they do stuff like that.
Yeah. Yep. I'm a big fan. But if you watch it, I want to hear your thoughts on it. I think I'm going to rewatch it probably this week at some point because I've just been
I'll throw
thinking
her
about
on.
it since we talked about it.
I have to take a train to Boston
Oh,
on
there you go.
Tuesday, but I don't know if I'll watch Rubber, but I'll watch something. I don't know what though. There hasn't been any really good movies that come out. Oh, I already talked about that in a past podcast. The Talk to Me movie. I thought that was pretty good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I do want to see that.
Oh, you're a big The Boys fan, right? You watch that on Amazon Prime?
No, I don't have
Homelander
Amazon
and stuff?
Prime. Okay.
What? You don't have Amazon
No.
Prime?
No.
You order shit from Amazon all the time.
And I get it in 2 days every time.
Oh, so you don't see a reason as to pay extra?
Zero
for
reason. So perfect example. I ordered a thing for Maya, and I ordered because we got that shed, and I thought that I could maneuver the riding lawnmower into the shed without a ramp, and I cannot. Like I can physically lift it, but it's just the actual mechanics of getting it in there and lifting and pulling all at the same time. So I bought a ramp, like just little ramps. And I ordered them on Tuesday, and they said, okay, they'll be there Sunday. And I said, okay, no problem. They showed up Thursday. Same thing with the thing I ordered for Maya that I ordered that actually with that same order, it said hers was going to be in Saturday, and they both came in Thursday.
Are you near like a? See, that would be interesting. Are you near like an Amazon shipping facility?
Maybe. So like I'll tell you the only time that I didn't get something in 2 days or even in the promised time frame that they've said was when I had a free trial to Amazon Prime. And it was that stupid
That's
bike,
crazy.
that big wheel bike that I'm gonna. Spoiler alert! That's my part of my Halloween costume. Did I tell you what my Halloween costume is this year?
No.
I am going to be Donkey Kong, and I am going to ride that big wheel around. It's gonna be
That
awesome.
is awesome. Did you get a Donkey Kong costume?
Yeah, I'll send you the Donkey Kong costume that I got because
Oh my
it's
god,
like
that's great.
yeah, it's legit.
See, that's what we wanted to do is out front of our house, I have that proton pack for Ghostbusters, right?
Right.
So I wanted my wife to dress up as a Ghostbuster, and then I was gonna dress up as the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and have her try
That would be
to kill
awesome.
me. But there's
This
just not enough people.
this all stems though from my wife who is doing a trunk or treat, and the
Did
trunk
you
or
guys did some
treat.
awesome stuff. I'm gonna say this, even though he's gonna be how do you remember that? They dressed up as Pac-Man one time, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah,
With like all the Pac-Man people. So you and your wife and your kids dressed
I
up
I
as
actually wasn't
ghosts.
there for it, but
Yeah.
I made them the t-shirts that had like the little pixel like orange and the pixel cherry on it. And then I helped make the Pac-Man like logo for the board. And it was
It's
pretty cool.
tremendous. It's tremendous.
The Donkey
Donkey
Kong
Kong
costume,
costume.
dude, it is.
It's
I
great because
spent
it kind of looks like a hat almost. And
Yeah.
see, here's the thing I'm going to share for us big people out there. I weigh 350 pounds, maybe a little less now, but my shoulders are huge. Anytime I order any of this shit, I don't fit into it at all. That's why I wish I was a normal size sometimes because, like, I was like, oh man, I'll grab this. And then I get it and I'm like, one size fits all, huh? Doesn't fit me. Or I
You
go
know, they
put it on
changed
and it
that.
just
It's one
rips.
size fits most now.
Oh,
You know,
because they probably got sued.
probably.
I don't know who you'd sue for that.
Yeah, who would you sue for that?
Them.
You would have to sue one company, and then all the other companies are going to be like, bro, did you hear they got sued? We got to change that.
See, that reminds me Seinfeld episode last night where Jerry and Kramer are talking, and Kramer's like, "Gotta fix your audio system," and he's like, "I can't. I've tried a couple times, and they just send it back because they say there's nothing wrong with it, but it keeps jamming." And he's like, "I'll take care of it for you. I'll break it, and then I'll send it out, and then it'll come back to you, and you'll say it broke in the mail." They just write it off, and then he's like, "Who writes it off?" And he's like, "Well, the post office writes it off." And he's like, "Yeah, but who do they write it off to?" And he's like, "I don't know." And then he's like, "Do you know?" And Seinfeld's like, "I don't know either." Like, well, yeah, because they just write it off. So,
What a good bit.
you know, yeah. And really though, that like they don't who do they write it off to? They just eat it. They eat the
Right?
cost of it.
Someone eats the cost somewhere.
They do.
It's not my
So
problem.
you
at
are
that
right
point.
though. That used to be one size fits all, and they changed it.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, all I know is it never fit me before, and it doesn't fit me now. So
What can you do?
that is a really cool costume. I like it though, but I think I might follow through with what I told you. Is I'm gonna be the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
I think that's a lot of fun. That's definitely
We
a lot
try to
of fun.
think of things that I can think of the word, but
They like go
fit
together.
us. Yeah, like
Yeah,
because I'm bigger and she's smaller. So
yeah.
like if I'm the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and she's a Ghostbuster,
Makes sense.
that works. I couldn't be Zool because I would just one, no one wants to see that, and two, no one wants to see that. I'm like, it's like a clear costume.
It is.
You know, it'd really be funny though. I just wrap myself in like bubble wrap and
Yeah.
stick like clear ornaments on myself, and I'm Zool.
There you go. There is no Murdoch, only Zool.
Only Godzilla.
Oh man, this has been a fun episode.
It has been.
It
'Cause
has
we
been.
just it's like a text message chain with me and Mike of fuck Ohm Brody. And that's basically what it would be like. Us just texting each other
Yeah,
for
like
an entire episode.
if you were to hack into our phones, you'd be like, wow, you're right. This is just like episode 18 of Damn That's Podcasting. Which you should tell all your friends about. If you like these episodes, tell your friends. Be like, hey, check this out. This is a fun time. You know, if you know people who say, I see this every now and then, they'll post, and I don't want to be the one to be like, come listen to my podcast, but they'll post like, oh man, anybody know any good podcasts? I'm running out. It's like, well, yeah, you got a good podcast right here called Damn That's Podcasting.
This be it, boys
This
and
be it.
girls.
Murdoch.
Speaking of that, what
Yeah.
type of bears are toothless?
What type of bears are toothless? Gummy bears. You're
Yep.
so mad that I got that. Dude, of course I would
Well,
get that. Haribo gummy bears? They're the best
what's
candy.
blue and doesn't weigh much?
What's blue and doesn't weigh much? The sky?
Light blue.
Light blue. I didn't come prepared with any jokes.
What keys unlock a banana?
Monkeys.
Oh my God, you and Kurt, man. That's what we should do. I should be the ref, and you guys just go dad joke for dad joke.
Wait, no. What you should do is you do the joke, and then we have to buzz in for the punchline, and we keep score.
Guys, yeah,
we do it like a game show.
Dad jokes, guess the punchline.
That's right.
Micah, Fucko, and Brody, and Kurt. So,
and your host, Adam Murdoch. The Murdoch.
Yeah, I'll be the host. I'll be like, hey, welcome to the show. What'd the cereal bring to the bank?
What'd the cereal bring to the bank? What'd the cereal bring to the bank? Ooh, Kurt probably would have answered this one by now.
Checks.
Oh, what? Oh, yeah. What cereal did you bring to the bank?
What did the cereal bring to the bank?
Checks?
Because the check cereal, CHEX.
Yeah, but I feel like that joke doesn't work. Like, what cereal do you bring to the bank would be checks.
All right, how about I make it up with why did the birds attack the dog?
I don't know this one either.
Because he was purebred.
I feel like Kurt would beat me in this. I feel like Kurt would beat me in this game.
Man, he was like, I tried to play that for my wife because she loves those like funny, corny jokes. And I was like, this guy knows all of them in like 2 seconds, especially like did you know the chicken and the egg thing through the mail? I never heard that one.
Which one comes first? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know any of these. You guys, these ones are you're the one-liner dad joke guy.
Yeah.
Like I have a joke about construction, but I'm still working on it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? That's you. That's 100%.
Oh yeah. That's me for sure.
I'll tell this. He always gets me when I'll be like, no Biggie in a text. And he'll always say, no Tupac either. Always.
Every time.
Without fail. Every single time.
I've said that before, like in person to people, and they just kind of look and they go, huh? And I go, yeah, like no Tupac either. And it's sad that I have to explain this to you.
Did you just see that and now I'm going to go on another topic, even though we're almost done. Did you see that they arrested a guy that killed Tupac?
No, but I heard that like they had some leads or something.
Yeah,
but that's incredible.
Which is crazy for the drive-by shooting of him. I believe I just saw that.
Wow.
Only what, 30 years later?
Yeah, pretty much. That's crazy.
Not that I ever did, because I'm not incriminating myself, but if I ever killed like a very like big celebrity or a person that everyone knows, if I got to like almost my death age,
oh yeah,
I'd probably just tell everybody, so it's not like a mystery anymore.
The best rib would be just confessing the things you didn't do.
Oh, right before. That's you.
That's me.
They're like, this guy, for some reason, is asking for a news crew to his hospital bed. And they're like, he said he has some really important stuff. I'm going to go to the story and see what it is. And you're like, yeah, I shot JFK. And they're like, you weren't even born yet.
Be like, I know. I found a time machine.
Yeah, that would be.
Did you ever watch that series on Hulu, actually? Did you ever watch that series on Hulu?
The one that Who Shot JFK?
No, the Stephen King book that they made into a miniseries on Hulu, like 11 or whatever the date is for the date that he died is like the name of the thing. I read the book and then I watched the series and it was awesome.
Was it?
Yeah.
It's not 19. Is it 11/22/63?
Yep.
Is that it? And there's a movie of it?
There's a miniseries on Hulu.
I didn't know that. There's also that other one, Castle Rock. Is that what it was called? Did you ever watch that?
That's I started to, but that's another one that's Stephen King short stories. Yeah.
I know I'm going to say this and you're going to say, I don't have it because you don't have a lot of the streaming services because he's smart and I'm not because it costs too much money. MGM Plus?
Nope, don't have it.
No.
I have Paramount, Peacock, Hulu, Max.
I think I already said this, but MGM Plus, and I'm trying to remember what the show is, but it is one of the best shows oh, it's called From.
I'll have to check that out though.
I think you can like find it somewhere to watch it, but it is great. Basically, it's without spoiling anything, I'll read the synopsis. The residents of a small town struggle to find a way out of the town when mysterious unknown forces keep them from leaving.
Wow.
Sorry. Yeah. But no, it's great. It's one of those like original shows. Like, I don't know. It just got me right away because it's like one of those shows where you don't know what they're like running from.
Right.
But then it's not disappointing when it shows what it is.
Oh man, you know what? Okay, so I just got another idea for a future episode.
Uh-oh.
We build our prime time like we'll go from like 7 p.m. to like 11 p.m. and we have to build what shows are in that time frame. And who has the best prime time. That would be a lot of fun.
Good idea. Yeah.
Because everything's on the table. You could put game shows on there. You could put the news on there.
Wrestling.
You could put wrestling, but wrestling's like a 3-hour block.
Oh yeah, that would take up everything.
It'd take up everything.
You gotta sub it for something similar like American Gladiators.
Right. So we would do like, okay, this is my 7 to 8, and then we talk about what's going to be in there. That would be fun. We should do that.
It's a good one.
I
like that one.
If you, the listener or the viewer, whichever you happen to be digesting this content, if you guys have ideas and want us to sort out things, if you have a debate between you and your significant other and you want to get our take on it, let me know because, we'll do it. You can see our socials down at the bottom of the screen, but if you're listening, you can't see them. So you can hit us up at DMN That's Podcast. So at DMN That's Podcast on X or Damn That's Pod on Instagram, or you can just go to DamnThats.com and see all that stuff. Get in touch.
Yeah, we made it easy for you. Just DamnThats.com.
Yeah.
DamnThats.com.
And yeah, give us ideas, suggestions. We both went silent, and I was like, I don't know what to say.
That's just the end.
That's just the end. That's it. See you guys. Thanks.